Have you ever noticed how waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning leaves you feeling completely off the next day? It's not just about being sleepy or groggy, it's deeper than that. When your sleep is interrupted in the middle of the night, especially by the need to go to the bathroom, it does something to your body, your mind, and your entire day. Many people think it's just a normal part of aging, something they have to live with. But here's the truth: waking up in the early hours, night after night, can slowly wear you down. It disrupts your natural sleep cycles, shortens the amount of deep restorative rest you get, and over time it affects your mood, your memory, your balance, and even your heart health. Sleep is when your body repairs. It's when your brain resets. When that cycle is broken at 2 a.m., your blood pressure stays higher, your immune system becomes weaker, and your energy for the next day drops significantly. You may find yourself feeling more anxious, more forgetful, or even more prone to falls, all from something as simple as a bathroom trip at night. And the worst part, most people don't even realize this is something they can change. But here's the good news: there are simple natural strategies that can help reduce these nighttime disruptions without relying on medication or extreme routines. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 8 proven, easy-to-implement ways to stop waking up at 2-3 a.m. just to go to the bathroom. These aren't gimmicks. These are real, practical changes that have helped thousands of older adults sleep more peacefully, and they can help you too. And be sure to stick around for tip number 8, because it's the one most people overlook, but it might just be the missing piece you've been looking for. So if you're tired of tossing and turning, of dragging yourself out of bed in the dark, and of spending your mornings drained and foggy, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. One of the simplest yet most overlooked steps to reducing nighttime bathroom trips is this: stop drinking too much water before bed. It sounds obvious, almost too simple to be effective, but it can make a world of difference when it comes to getting a full night of uninterrupted sleep. Here's what happens. When you drink fluids, especially in the late evening, your body doesn't have enough time to process and eliminate that excess liquid before bedtime. So what does it do? It waits. And then just as your body is finally entering those deep healing stages of sleep, your bladder starts to fill, and your brain sends out a very loud, very clear message: time to get up. That single bathroom trip at 2 or 3 a.m. can throw off your entire night. Your heart rate rises as you move, your muscles tense, your mind starts racing, and once you return to bed, you often lie awake, waiting, hoping to fall back asleep. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And either way, you wake up feeling drained. But you can change that starting tonight. Start by gradually cutting back on fluids at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. That means if you typically go to bed at 10 p.m., your last full glass of water should be around 7. You don't have to dehydrate yourself, just taper down slowly as the evening goes on. Sip, don't gulp. Be mindful. Also, it's not just how much you drink, it's what you drink. Beverages like coffee, black tea, green tea, cola, and even some herbal teas can act as diuretics, stimulating your kidneys and making your body produce more urine. And alcohol. While it might seem to relax you, it actually increases urine output and fragments your sleep. I've heard from so many older adults who said, "But I only had a small cup of tea before bed." The truth is, even that small cup, especially if it contains dandelion, ginger, or hibiscus, can trigger your bladder just enough to disrupt your rest. One of them was Margaret, 72, from Ohio. She loved winding down every night with a cozy mug of chamomile tea. It felt relaxing until she realized she was waking up twice every night, like clockwork. At first, she thought it was just part of aging. But after learning that even some herbal teas can act as diuretics, she swapped her evening drink for warm water earlier in the evening. Within a week, her sleep improved dramatically. She even joked that her dog now sleeps better because she's not pacing down the hallway at 3 a.m. That doesn't mean you need to go to bed parched. If you often wake up with a dry mouth or mild thirst, simply keep a small glass of water at your bedside. Just a sip, just enough to soothe the dryness, can keep you comfortable without filling your bladder. It's about balance. Hydrate well throughout the day, taper in the evening, and give your body the chance to rest without interruption. This single habit can transform your sleep, your mornings, and your energy throughout the day. And if you're already being mindful of your fluid intake, but still find yourself waking up in the middle of the night, the real problem might not be what you're drinking, but where the fluids are going. That brings us to part 2, elevating your legs, the secret to better circulation and fewer nighttime trips. If you've already been careful with what you drink in the evening, but still find yourself waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning to pee, the issue might not be how much fluid you're taking in, but where that fluid has been hiding all day. Here's something most people don't realize: gravity plays a major role in nighttime urination. Throughout the day, as we sit, stand, and move around, fluid from our bloodstream slowly builds up in the lower parts of our body, particularly in our legs and feet. For many older adults, especially those who spend long hours sitting, this can lead to noticeable swelling in the ankles by evening. What you see as puffiness or heaviness in the legs is actually fluid retention. Now here's the kicker. The moment you lie down at night, gravity no longer holds that fluid in your lower legs. Instead, the fluid redistributes back into your bloodstream, travels through your kidneys, and ends up filling your bladder right when you're supposed to be sound asleep. It's no wonder your bladder starts calling out for attention in the early hours. But there's good news. You can preempt this process and give your body time to handle that fluid before it disrupts your rest by simply elevating your legs in the evening. About 1 to 2 hours before bedtime, take a moment to lie back and prop your legs up. You don't need anything fancy. A few firm pillows stacked under your calves, a recliner with your feet raised, or even just lying on the bed with your legs resting up against the wall can do the trick. Aim to have your legs slightly above the level of your heart. That angle helps encourage the fluid to move upward through your body sooner, giving your kidneys the opportunity to process it before you're asleep. This small habit can lead to fewer bladder wake-up calls, less swelling, and even less aching in the feet and knees. Some people also notice improved circulation and reduced restlessness in their legs at night. Take Frank, a retired bus driver from Arizona. He spent decades sitting for long hours, and by evening, his ankles would swell so much he had to loosen his socks. Even after cutting back on evening drinks, he was still waking up twice a night to urinate. On his doctor's advice, he began propping his legs up on a stack of pillows for 45 minutes before bed while listening to jazz. Just 2 weeks in, he noticed not only reduced swelling, but he was sleeping through most nights undisturbed for the first time in years. And here's something beautiful about this routine. It's also a built-in opportunity to slow down. Use that time to relax, read, breathe deeply, or simply rest your eyes. It becomes not just a physical reset, but an emotional one too. I've had clients who told me, I thought it was silly at first just putting my feet up. But after 1 week, I was waking up once a night instead of 3 times. And after 2 weeks, I was sleeping through the night. Sometimes the most powerful solutions are the simplest ones. So if you've been battling nighttime bathroom trips, even after cutting back on evening drinks, give your legs a chance to help. Let the fluid shift early and let your bladder rest easy later. Of course, even when fluid isn't the issue, there's still something else that can trip us up: not fully emptying the bladder before bed. If you've ever gotten up at night and felt like you just went, you're going to want to hear part 3, the double voiding technique. Empty your bladder completely and sleep longer. You've cut back on fluids before bedtime. You've tried elevating your legs to reduce fluid buildup, but somehow, like clockwork, you're still waking up in the middle of the night with that all too familiar urge. Sound familiar? The truth is, many older adults wake up at night not because their bladder fills up again, but because it wasn't fully emptied in the first place. It's something we don't usually think about. We go to the bathroom before bed, do what we need to do, and climb under the covers, believing we're done for the night. But here's what happens behind the scenes as we age. The bladder's ability to contract fully can weaken. Sometimes it doesn't push out all the urine in one go. And that small amount left behind, it doesn't take much for it to send another signal to your brain a couple hours later saying, hey, we're full again. This is where the double voiding technique can be a game changer. It's a simple practice that helps ensure your bladder is as empty as possible before you go to sleep so you don't get woken up again so soon. Here's how to do it. Just before bed, go to the bathroom and urinate like you normally would. Then this is the key: don't rush off to bed right away. Instead, take about 5 to 10 minutes to allow your body to relax. Maybe brush your teeth, prepare your room for sleep, or just sit quietly. Then go back to the bathroom and try again. More often than not, you'll be surprised by how much additional urine your bladder was still holding on to. It's not about forcing or straining. It's about giving your bladder a second chance to finish the job once the muscles have had time to relax. Let me share a story with you. Linda, 68, from Minnesota, was frustrated that even after being careful with her evening routine, she still woke up at 1:30 every night needing to pee. Her sleep was fragmented and she started dreading bedtime. One evening, she stumbled upon a tip about double voiding. Skeptical but hopeful, she tried it. After her usual trip to the bathroom, she waited 7 minutes, returned, and to her surprise, managed to go again. It wasn't much, she told me, but it made all the difference. That second try was the reason I finally slept through the night. What Linda experienced is common. Even a small residual amount can be enough to disrupt sleep. And here's the thing, this method doesn't require any tools, medication, or cost. Just a few minutes of patience. For many people, it's a gentle shift in their bedtime rhythm that leads to deeper, more consistent rest. If you try it tonight, you may just find that the 2 a.m. bathroom visit you were expecting never comes. So the next time you're getting ready for bed, remember, one trip to the bathroom might not be enough. Give it a second go and give yourself the gift of uninterrupted sleep. Now, if you've tried this and still find yourself waking up, it might not be about how or when you go to the bathroom, but what you're eating. In Part 4, Adjusting Your Diet for Better Bladder Health, we'll talk about the foods that may be irritating your bladder and quietly waking you up every night. It might surprise you, but your bladder listens to what you eat, and it remembers. Many people assume that nighttime urination is just a fluid issue, that if they don't drink too much, they'll sleep fine. But even if you're careful with fluids, certain foods can irritate the lining of your bladder, making it more sensitive, more reactive, and more likely to wake you up at 2 a.m. begging for relief. So what kind of foods are we talking about? Let's start with the most common offenders: spicy foods, citrus fruits, tomato-based sauces, chocolate, and anything with caffeine. These items can overstimulate the bladder, increasing the urgency and frequency of urination, especially in the hours following dinner. Spicy foods, in particular hot sauces, chili peppers, curry, may taste great going in, but they contain compounds like capsaicin that can inflame the delicate tissues of your bladder. That means even if your bladder isn't full, it may still feel like it needs to empty, waking you up unnecessarily during the night. Citrus fruits such as oranges, grapefruits, and even lemons in your water are acidic, and acidity can be harsh on an aging bladder. The same goes for tomatoes, which are highly acidic and are found in everything from pasta sauce to pizza. And then there's caffeine, not just in coffee or tea, but also in chocolate, sodas, and even some energy waters. Caffeine acts as a diuretic, which stimulates urine production and makes you more likely to have to get up in the middle of the night. Plus, it interferes with deep sleep, so it's a double hit. Just ask Harold, 71, from South Carolina, who always enjoyed a slice of dark chocolate cake after dinner. I thought I was being good by cutting back on wine, he said, but I was still waking up around 3 a.m. every night. When he finally tracked his evening routine, he realized the sugar and caffeine from the cake were firing up his bladder. After switching to a small bowl of Greek yogurt and blueberries instead, he was amazed I slept through the whole night for the first time in months. Now, on the flip side, there are foods that support and soothe the bladder. These include whole grains, bananas, oatmeal, cooked vegetables, and mild proteins like grilled chicken or steamed fish. These options are less likely to irritate the bladder lining and help keep your body in a more relaxed, balanced state before sleep. If you're someone who enjoys a warm drink before bed, consider switching to non-irritating herbal teas like chamomile, as long as it doesn't include ingredients like ginger or dandelion, which can be diuretics. Always read the labels. Just because it's herbal doesn't mean it's bladder friendly. One helpful tip is to keep a food and sleep journal for a week. Track what you eat at dinner and how well you sleep that night. You may begin to see patterns: certain meals that lead to better sleep and others that leave you up and down all night. And don't forget about portion size. Large meals too close to bedtime can put pressure on the bladder and digestive system, making it harder for your body to settle. Aim for a light, balanced dinner about 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. It all comes down to this: your bladder is a sensitive organ. The more you treat it gently with what you eat, the more it will reward you with quiet, peaceful nights. Now, even if your diet is on track, you might still be going to the bathroom too often day and night. In Part 5, Bladder Training, How to Teach Your Bladder to Wait, we'll talk about how to retrain your bladder's timing and take back control one step at a time. If you find yourself going to the bathroom often, sometimes every hour or two during the day, or multiple times during the night, your bladder may not be the problem. It might just be out of practice. You see, your bladder is like any other part of your body. It learns habits, it learns expectations, and over time, If you've been urinating more frequently than necessary, perhaps because of anxiety over hydration, or even just routine, it begins to expect and demand those frequent trips. But the good news is your bladder can be retrained. Bladder training is a simple, non-medication-based strategy that helps you gradually stretch the time between bathroom visits. The goal is to build back your bladder's ability to hold urine for longer periods so you feel less urgency, less frequency, and more freedom. Let's break it down. Start by keeping a bladder diary for 3 to 4 days. Write down the time you urinate and how strong the urge was. This gives you a clear picture of your current pattern and helps set a realistic starting point. Then begin to slowly extend the time between trips. For example, if you typically urinate every hour, aim to wait just 10 to 15 extra minutes. Use distractions, read a book, take a walk, do breathing exercises. As you succeed, increase the wait time by another 10 to 15 minutes over the next few days. The goal is to eventually space your urination out to every 2.5 to 3 hours during the day. And yes, this training during the day helps reduce urgency at night too. When your bladder becomes more comfortable holding more urine for longer periods, you're less likely to wake up frequently just because of a little pressure. James, 74, from Michigan, used to plan his whole day around bathroom access. He wouldn't go on long walks, avoided car trips, and woke up 3 to 4 times every night. It felt like my bladder was in charge of my life, he said. With help from his urologist, he started a bladder training program. After 2 weeks of diary tracking and gentle delay techniques, he extended his daytime intervals from 1 hour to almost 3. The surprise, his nighttime trips dropped from 4 to just 1. I felt like I got my freedom back, he shared with a smile. You can also strengthen the muscles that support your bladder by doing pelvic floor exercises, often called Kegels. These exercises help improve control, especially for those who experience sudden urges or slight leakage. Simply contract the muscles you'd use to stop urinating, hold for 5 seconds, then release. Repeat 10 times a few times a day. Over time, this helps reduce urgency and builds bladder confidence. One important thing to remember, don't go just in case too often. That habit trains your bladder to empty prematurely, reducing its holding capacity. Only go when you genuinely feel the urge and learn to gently challenge yourself when it's safe to wait a bit longer. Progress can take a few weeks, but the impact can be life-changing. Less stress, fewer nighttime interruptions, more energy during the day, and the confidence to go out, travel, and live more freely again. Like all good habits, it takes patience, but the payoff is worth it. And if you're doing all the right things but still find yourself waking up at night, there might be something else at play: your medications. In Part 6, Managing Your Medications, we'll look at how some common prescriptions can silently affect your bladder and what to do about it. You've been doing everything right, cutting fluids, adjusting your diet, elevating your legs, even retraining your bladder. But still, the 2 a.m. bathroom trips continue. At this point, you might be wondering, what am I missing? Here's something many people overlook: your medications may be quietly working against your sleep. As we get older, most of us rely on prescription drugs to manage chronic conditions: high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, arthritis. And while these medications are often essential, some of them come with a side effect few doctors mention right away: increased nighttime urination. The biggest culprit, diuretics, commonly known as water pills. These are often prescribed to help reduce fluid retention or lower blood pressure. They work by stimulating your kidneys to flush out excess salt and water through urine, and they're effective but also disruptive, especially when taken too late in the day. Just ask Shirley, 76, from Texas. She had been waking up 3 times a night for nearly a year, thinking it was just normal aging. But during a routine checkup, her doctor asked when she was taking her blood pressure meds. Right after dinner, she replied. Turns out one of those pills was a diuretic. Her doctor simply changed the timing. Shirley started taking it around noon instead of evening. Within days, she was sleeping through the night again. No new prescriptions, just smarter timing. And it's not just diuretics. Other medications can affect your bladder too. Some antidepressants, heart medications, or even sleep aids may relax the bladder muscles too much or interfere with the brain's ability to control urination. Then there are medications that cause dry mouth, leading you to drink more fluids in the evening to stay comfortable, which of course leads to more nighttime trips to the bathroom. Here's what you can do. Step 1, make a complete list of all your medications, including over-the-counter ones, herbal supplements, and vitamins. Step 2, look up or ask your pharmacist which of these might affect bladder function or increase urine production. Step 3. Talk to your doctor. Never stop or adjust a medication on your own, but do ask if there are alternative drugs-adjusted dosages or better timing options that can minimize nighttime urination. Many older adults are surprised to learn how something as simple as switching the timing of a pill, taking it in the morning instead of evening, can lead to more restful nights. And in some cases, your doctor may suggest trying an alternative medication that's less disruptive to your bladder. Remember, your goal isn't just to sleep better, it's to manage your overall health in a way that supports your energy balance and quality of life. You deserve medications that work with your lifestyle, not against it. And you deserve to wake up in the morning refreshed, not frustrated. If you've never had this conversation with your doctor before, now is the time. Bring it up. Ask the question. You may be just one adjustment away from better sleep. And speaking of lifestyle, there's another factor that influences your bladder more than you think: how active you are during the day. In Part 7, Staying Active to Reduce Fluid Buildup, we'll explore why even light movement can help your body process fluids during the day so you don't have to do it all at night. Here's something many people don't realize: the way you move or don't move during the day can have a direct impact on how often you wake up at night to use the bathroom. When we sit for long periods, whether reading, watching TV, or even just resting, our circulation slows. Blood and fluids tend to pool in the lower body, especially in the legs and feet. That swelling or heaviness you feel in your ankles by late afternoon, that's not just discomfort, it's fluid. Your body hasn't had a chance to move and eliminate properly yet. Now fast forward to bedtime. The moment you lie down, gravity stops keeping that fluid in your lower limbs. It begins to recirculate, your kidneys kick in, and soon your bladder starts filling with fluid that's been building up all day. And like clockwork, you're up at 2:30 a.m., making the familiar trip to the bathroom. So what's the solution? Move more during the day, especially your legs. This doesn't mean you need to join a gym or run laps. For older adults, light activity spread throughout the day can be incredibly powerful. Even simple movements like brisk walking, stretching, marching in place, or gentle yoga can help your body process and eliminate fluids while you're awake, so you don't have to do it while you're sleeping. Take Eleanor, 79, from Oregon, for example. After recovering from a knee replacement, she found herself spending long afternoons in her recliner. By evening, my ankles looked like balloons, she said. She also noticed she was waking up twice a night to urinate. Her physical therapist suggested taking 2 short walks each day just around her backyard and doing seated leg lifts every hour. Within a week, her swelling improved, and she was waking up just once at night. A month later, I slept through the night and I felt like myself again. Small movements really do add up. Aim to stand up and stretch every 30-60 minutes, especially if you've been sitting. Use a step counter if you have one. It doesn't matter how many steps you take. What matters is consistency. If walking is difficult, chair-based exercises can be just as effective. Try flexing your ankles, rotating your feet, or gently pumping your calves while seated. These motions help stimulate circulation in your lower body and encourage fluid to move upward where your body can process it during the day. There's another bonus: movement helps your digestion, boosts your mood, and supports deeper sleep. People who stay physically active during the day tend to fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. You're not just reducing nighttime urination, you're improving your entire sleep cycle. Think of movement as your body's natural reset button. Every time you move, you help regulate blood flow, fluid balance, and even hormone levels like melatonin and cortisol that play a role in sleep quality. So if you've been sedentary lately, don't worry, it's never too late to start. Begin small, walk to the mailbox, stand and stretch during commercials. Take a stroll around the kitchen after dinner. What matters is that you get your circulation going while the sun is still up. And once you build that habit, you'll start to notice something amazing. Your nights feel calmer, your sleep deeper, and those early morning bathroom trips fewer and farther between. Now let's talk about one final, often forgotten strategy: the power of your bedtime routine. In Part 8, Creating a Consistent Nighttime Routine, we'll explore how to guide your body gently into sleep, reduce bladder stimulation, and finally reclaim your peaceful rest. We often think of sleep as something that just happens, like flipping a switch, but for your body, falling asleep is actually a process. And one of the best ways to reduce nighttime bathroom trips is to support that process with a calming, consistent evening routine. Why does this matter? Because your body runs on an internal clock, your circadian rhythm. This 24-hour cycle helps regulate everything from digestion to hormone production, including how much urine your kidneys make. In a healthy rhythm, your body naturally reduces urine production at night so you can sleep longer without interruption. But when your routine is irregular, eating dinner late one day, falling asleep early the next, your internal clock gets confused. That confusion can increase nighttime urine production and throw off your entire sleep cycle. The fix: consistency and calm. Start by choosing a set bedtime and stick with it even on weekends. Your body thrives on predictability. Going to sleep and waking up at the same time helps reinforce the signals that say it's time to rest. Then build a wind-down ritual that prepares both your mind and body for sleep. This doesn't have to be elaborate. In fact, the simpler the better. Here's what a healthy pre-sleep routine might look like. Dim the lights about 60 minutes before bed. Bright light suppresses melatonin, the hormone that helps you sleep. Turn off screens, TVs, phones, tablets 30 to 60 minutes before bed. The blue light confuses your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Avoid heavy meals or snacks within 2 hours of bedtime. Digestion can keep your system alert and may increase bladder activity. Use calming cues like soft music, a warm shower, or gentle stretching. These rituals act like signals that tell your body, we're done for the day. And if you like drinking something warm before bed, choose wisely. Try a non-caffeinated, non-diuretic tea like chamomile, as long as it doesn't contain bladder irritants like ginger or dandelion. Or sip warm water with a drop of honey. Carl, 70, from Colorado, had struggled with sleep for years. I always thought it was my age or my bladder, he said. But honestly, I was going to bed at different times every night watching TV until I nodded off. With guidance, he committed to a new bedtime routine: lights out at 10, soft jazz at 9:30, and no screen time after 9. Within 2 weeks, he was waking up only once a night. I feel like I got 10 years back, he told his doctor with a smile. When you create a consistent routine, you're not just helping your bladder, you're giving your entire body the stability it craves. You're training your brain to relax, your muscles to let go, and your organs to slow down. Over time, your body begins to anticipate sleep. It learns when to wind down and when to rest deeply, and that means fewer wake-ups, more energy, better mornings. Because in the end, good sleep isn't just about avoiding the bathroom, it's about reclaiming your nights and your well-being. So as you've now seen, there's no single magic bullet. But when you combine all 8 strategies: hydration habits, leg elevation, double voiding, bladder, friendly foods, retraining your bladder, reviewing medications, staying active, and following a bedtime routine, they work together to create a life where sleep is peaceful again. Up next, in our final thoughts and closing message, let's reflect on everything we've learned and help you take the first step toward your best nights yet. If you've made it this far, thank you and congratulations. You've just taken a meaningful step towards something so many people silently long for: restful, uninterrupted sleep. Waking up multiple times each night isn't just a minor inconvenience. It drains your energy, fogs your memory, affects your mood, and quietly chips away at your quality of life. For many older adults, it becomes something they silently accept as just part of aging. But now you know better. You've learned that there are 8 powerful natural strategies, small steps you can take right now that work together to give your bladder a break and your body the deep rest it deserves. You learned how limiting fluids before bed can reduce that midnight pressure. You saw how elevating your legs helps your body release fluid before sleep, not during it. You discovered the simple yet effective double voiding technique to fully empty your bladder. You explored how certain foods can irritate your bladder while others help soothe it. You gained the tools to retrain your bladder, giving you back control and confidence. You became aware that your medications might be part of the problem, and now you know what to ask your doctor. You understood how daily movement supports circulation and reduces overnight fluid release. And finally, you saw how a consistent bedtime routine can align your body's clock and deepen your sleep. Each of these strategies on their own can make a difference, but together they can transform your nights and your days. You're not just fighting nighttime urination, you're fighting for peace, clarity, energy, and freedom. So what now? I encourage you, choose one tip to start with tonight. Maybe it's moving more today. Maybe it's setting a consistent bedtime. Maybe it's just putting your legs up for 30 minutes before bed. Small steps, big impact. And please don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Share this video with a friend, a spouse, or a loved one who may be struggling in silence. Sometimes one conversation can change someone's entire sleep journey. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. What strategy are you most excited to try? What's helped you in the past? Let's build a community of support, wisdom, and well-being together. If this video brought you value, consider clicking the like button. It tells YouTube to show this to more people who need it. And if you'd like more science-backed, senior-friendly guidance on sleep health and joyful aging, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tip from Why Senior Life. Because at any age, and especially after 60, you still deserve to wake up feeling refreshed, alive, and ready to embrace the day. Sleep well tonight. You've earned it.